everyone, it's Ashley and today I'm bringing you my April TBR. I know this video is a little bit late. I will try to film TBRs like for the beginning of the month going forward, but I make no promises because sometimes, you know, life gets in the way, and also sometimes I think I'm just not going to film an April TBR, and then on the 13th of April I decide I am going to film an April TBR, so here we are. First of all, I'm going to talk to you about 2 audiobooks that I plan on finishing in the next couple weeks. The first one I am addicted to, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. This book is so freaking good. I'm listening to the audiobook. I love the person who reads the audiobook, but I'm also reading like the physical book every so often. I'm just mostly listening to it on audio. For those of you who don't know, this follows a group of people called diviners who all have these weird powers, and you don't know what everyone's power is yet, and you don't know how they all connect at all, but you do know that there's this weird killer on the loose in New York City in the 20s, and somehow it's connected to these guys, and it's just so freaking good. If you haven't read this, you should. I'm only 2/3 of the way through. I've already bought the second audiobook. I am in it for the long haul. I'm sad that I didn't pick this book up years ago when it first came out because seriously, it's so good. The second audiobook I want to try to finish in the month of April is actually a reread that I'm rereading via audiobook with Danick, and that is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire-Salnes. And oh my god. This, when I first read it, I rated it 5 stars. It was one of the best books I think I'd ever read when I first read it. And now that I'm rereading it via audio, I'm realizing that I think, without a doubt, this is one of my favorite YA books of all time. It's so well written in the sense that it's it is well written in its prose, but it's also just so ridiculously authentic feeling while you read it. And the characters are so flawed yet perfect, and I just really like them. And also this book has parents that not only exist in the world craziness YA, but also play a role and are great people, and the kids value their parents, and it's really good. You should really read it. It's a YA contemporary that takes place in El Paso in the 80s, and it has 2 male main characters, and it's just exquisite. It's exquisite. Read it. It's so good. Sidebar, if you are also an audiobook person, the person who reads this audiobook is phenomenal. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda reads this audiobook, so just recommend, highly recommend, couldn't recommend more, to be honest. Next, I'm going to show you the book I'm currently reading. I'm almost halfway through it right now, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This was the You Choose winner for April. I will leave the April You Choose video. I'll just leave all the You Choose videos down below. For those of you who don't know what that is, every single month I give you guys the opportunity to vote on a genre and then vote on a book that I will read every single month, and then I will film a review video of that book every single month. I'll leave all the details down below. Right now, actually, the poll for the genre for the May You Choose is up on my Twitter, so I will leave on my Twitter. That sounds so weird. I will leave the link to the Twitter poll in the description box down below if you want to vote on genre. Right now, contemporary and fantasy are tied for the genre choice for May. Words. Anyways, back to Station 11. This book so far has been completely different from what I expected it to be, but in a great way. It's very unconventional in the way that the story is told, and also kind of just in the way that the story is its story. I don't know how else to explain it, but I'm loving it. I love the characters. Every time I think I'm not gonna like a character, every time I'm I don't want this person's story, let's go back to this other person that I really care about. 20 pages later, I'm oh my god, I'm invested in this person's story now. I need to know what happens. For those of you who don't know, this is a sci-fi dystopian where a plague hits the world and basically 99.99% of the population dies, and it follows the people, some people who didn't die, but also it goes back in time to follow people from before the plague and how they kind of connect to people from now. I hope that makes sense, but that's really like all of the information I want to give you, because I think that this is one of those books that you should really go into not knowing much. I know I say that all the time. I like to go into books blind, but like this is a book where like I really actually recommend going into it not knowing anything, because it's been like a really, really great surprise for me. I really like this so far. The writing's great. I'm really happy that this won the You Choose for this month, because I wasn't expecting to pick this up like right away, but I feel like this is like the exact kind of read I needed right now, so I'm really happy about that. All right, so I still have quite a few things to show you guys, because this month I have been on like a reading kick. I have been reading like crazy. I've been reading a lot more than I normally do, and I want to like keep myself on that high for as long as possible. The next book is part of a read-along that a friend of mine is hosting on YouTube and Twitter and all of that jazz this month. It's also another book that was part of the You Choose choices but didn't win, but I kind of wanted it to win, and that is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. I have wanted to read this for so long. It is Dylan from Dylan the Reader's like favorite book of all time. I will leave him linked down below. If you don't know him, you should follow him. He's lovely. He's hosting a like We Are the Ants read along this month from the 15th to the end of the month. I will be reading this during that time and participating in the read-along. If you want to follow me on like Twitter and Instagram and all that jazz, that's always linked down below. And I think the hashtag is like WATARA, like all of the letters in the We Are the Ants read-along, I think. I'll leave the details I know in the description box down below, because clearly I don't know any details at this point, except for that I will be reading this book in a few days. I don't know too much about this, and again, I like going into books not knowing too much about them, but I do know that it follows a teenage boy who is gay, who gets abducted by aliens all the time, and basically during the book, the aliens give him this button, and they're like, we're gonna kill the world in this many days, but if you press this button, we won't kill the world. And it follows this like young boy deciding whether the world is actually worth saving. And I feel like it's gonna be this like perfect mix of contemporary feeling with like a tiny bit of a sci-fi element, and I am there. I am there for this, and I'm so excited. The next two books I have to show you are both YA contemporaries. I used to be a like 90% only YA contemporary reader, and I have changed drastically over the last few years as a reader. I'm really happy about this, but also every so often I get into like these like YA contemporary kicks, and I feel kind of like happy nostalgic about it. So I want to like live off of this YA contemporary high that I've been on since I Have Lost My Way by Gail Forman. So I have two YA picks this month. The first book is Here So Far Away by Hadley Dyer. I got to meet Hadley Dyer at the HCC Frenzy event in Toronto last weekend. I will have a vlog from my Toronto visit going up soon. It'll either be up before this video or very soon after this video. I promise it's coming. I will start vlogging again. I know how much you guys like my vlogs. It's happening again, I promise. But I got to meet Hadley, and she was so nice. She used to be an editor at HarperCollins, and this book takes place in the East Coast of Canada, which as a Canadian I love, and apparently it's going to be like a gritty YA contemporary with some like not so societally acceptable things going on in it. I actually didn't know anything about this, and then I read like the first like 50 pages while I was at HarperCollins, and I fell in love with the main character. I am hooked. The main character is like super spunky and like super sassy, very bold, definitely a Gryffindor in my opinion. And I am a Gryffindor, so I love other female Gryffindors in terms of book characters. So I'm really excited about this, and I also feel like I like YAs that hit like hard-hitting topics in a like relatable way, and that's what I'm hearing about this book in reviews. So I'm very excited about it, and I hope that it lives up to my expectations. And the last physical book that I want to read this month is 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Cotugno. I love Katie Cotugno. I've loved all of her books that I've read. I really liked 99 Days. I know it gets mixed reviews, especially on BookTube, but I thought that it dealt with like hard issues properly, and I thought it dealt with slut shaming so well. For those of you who don't know, 99 Days very actively deals with the idea of slut shaming, and I really liked how the author dealt with that issue in that book. The only thing that I am worried about with this, which is a sequel to 99 Days, is that I thought that 99 Days ended in a way that it didn't need a sequel in any way. So I'm a little worried about what will happen in this book and whether I will like how it ends versus how I liked how 99 Days ended, but I do know I love the author's writing style, and I do know I love the main character. So I'm very excited to pick this up. It's also like really short. And last but not least, I have 2 graphic novels I want to try to read this month. The first one is a big one, and that is Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. So this is one of those like changed the graphic novel genre, super important, I can't believe you haven't read this if you like graphic novels kind of graphic novel. This is also my in real life book club's pick for the month of April. So I have to finish this by May 4th because that's when our book club is, no matter what. So on the one hand, I'm super excited to pick this up because I've wanted to pick it up for years, but on the other hand, I'm a little bit worried because this book is all old school drawings, and I am not a big fan of this type of art style. It's not that I think that it's not like valid. If you like this kind of art style, that's great. I'm a fan of the fact that the graphic novel genre allows for so many variations of things. Like there's so many different kind of art styles that exist, and like for the most part I try to enjoy all of them, but I just don't love the old school. I don't love it. It's not my favorite. So I'm a little worried that this is like a honkin' graphic novel and that it's old school art. So I'm a little worried that this will take me a long time to get through, but I am excited for the story. I don't know too much about the story. I have seen the movie. I saw it a few years ago, and I've heard that the movie is actually different from the graphic in a lot of ways, but I do know that it is an alternate history retelling with like superheroes that are not like superheroes. Kind of like Kick-Ass. Like they are superheroes, but they don't exist in like the way that like Captain America or Spider-Man or like Batman exists. Also, from what I've been told, the characters in this are more like anti-hero than superhero, and I'm a huge anti-hero fan in literature, so I'm really excited for this, but also just like a little bit worried. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I can get over my issues with the art style and just like fall in love with the story. And last but not least, I have a graphic that was also one of the choices for You Choose in the month of April, and that is Paper Girls Volume 4. I have wanted to read this forever. I loved the first 3 volumes of Paper Girls. I love Brian K. Vaughan's writing style. I love the artwork in this series. It's like very color coordinated, which I really like in a graphic series. And also it has like super kick-butt female characters and also like time travel. So what more could you possibly want? Okay, so that is my stack of want to reads for April. Make sure to comment down below with the books you want to read in the month of April. Also, if you plan on participating in the We Are the Ants read along, make sure to let me know so that I can follow you back and we can chit chat about the book as we read. And other than that, I will see you guys soon with another video. Happy reading. Bye!